If you have been sensing things lately that you cannot fully explain, you are not alone. Maybe you have felt a sudden shift in the air around you, a knowing inside your chest that you cannot trace to logic. Maybe your intuition has been speaking louder than usual, pulling your attention towards certain people, situations, or decisions without giving you a clear explanation. Perhaps you have noticed recurring signs, repeated numbers, meaningful coincidences, or synchronicities that seem too precise to dismiss. Or maybe there is simply a quiet feeling inside you, a feeling that something significant is approaching, even if you cannot yet put it into words. Whatever form it takes, what you are sensing is not random. These sensations you feel are signals. They are the universe's way of communicating with you, guiding you, and preparing you. They arise when your intuitive channels open wider, when your awareness sharpens, and when your inner world begins aligning with shifts happening in the unseen. Most people ignore these signals because they do not trust themselves enough to acknowledge them. But you are here, listening, because a part of you already knows that what you're sensing carries meaning. A part of you recognizes that these impressions are not coincidences, they are invitations. Your intuition is activating because you are stepping into a new phase of your life, a phase where clarity begins to replace confusion, where inner guidance becomes stronger than external noise, and where your soul begins leading in ways your mind can barely keep up with. This heightened sensitivity is not a sign that you are overthinking, it is a sign that you are awakening. When your energy begins to rise, your senses naturally expand. You start picking up on things that were always there, but hidden beneath the layers of routine, distraction, and mental clutter. You begin noticing patterns, feeling shifts, and perceiving subtle truths that used to pass you by. These intuitive impulses may feel mysterious, but they are rooted in alignment. When something in your life is preparing to shift, your spirit feels it before your circumstances reveal it. You may sense endings before they happen, new beginnings before they appear, or redirections long before they become visible. This is not imagination, it is resonance. Your inner world is syncing with what your outer world is moving toward. The signals you're sensing are early echoes of the transformation ahead. What you are feeling is a call to pay attention, not with your mind, but with your awareness. Something in your life is rearranging, something in your heart is preparing to open, something in your path is beginning to unfold, and your intuition is alerting you because it wants you to be ready. It wants you to recognize the guidance rather than dismiss it. It wants you to trust what you feel, even if what you feel has not yet shown itself in physical form. As we begin this message, allow yourself to release any doubt you've had about your own sensitivity. You are not imagining these signals, you are receiving them. And the more you trust what you're sensing, the clearer the guidance will become. You are stepping into a stage of deeper awareness, and this awareness will shape the way you move through the changes that are coming. Before we continue, take a moment to support this channel so these messages can keep reaching the people who need them. If this introduction resonates with what you've been feeling, make sure to like this video, share it with someone who may need this reminder, and subscribe to the channel for more guidance on your journey. When you begin sensing things that feel unusual or unexplainable, it can be difficult to understand what is actually happening beneath the surface. Yet these intuitive signals follow a very clear pattern once you know how to recognize them. They do not appear randomly, and they do not arise without purpose. They are the first indications that your inner world is aligning with a deeper current of energy that is already shaping your outer reality. Understanding the nature of these signals is the first step toward interpreting what the universe is trying to communicate with you. One of the most common forms of intuitive signaling is the strong gut feeling that emerges seemingly out of nowhere. This sensation may appear as a sudden pull towards something or a sudden warning against something. You may find yourself feeling an instant clarity about a situation that your mind has not yet analyzed. This kind of intuitive awareness shows up when your deeper consciousness perceives subtle energetic information before your logical thinking has had a chance to catch up. The gut reacts faster than the mind because intuition operates outside of linear reasoning. It taps into the energetic field around you, reading subtle frequencies and impressions that cannot be measured through thought alone. These gut sensations are often the first indication that you are picking up on something meaningful, even if you cannot explain it yet. Synchronicities are another form of intuitive communication. They appear as meaningful coincidences that defy logic, but resonate deeply with your internal state. You might see repeating numbers at significant moments, encounter symbols that mirror your thoughts, or meet people who show up precisely when you are considering a major decision. These events are not random, they are reflections of alignment between your internal intentions and the external environment. When synchronicities appear frequently, it is a sign that your energy is beginning to harmonize with the universal field around you. The outer world starts mirroring your inner reality, revealing patterns that confirm you are on the right track. Synchronicities function like markers along a path, guiding you gently without overwhelming you. Heightened sensitivity is another signal that often goes unnoticed until it becomes impossible to ignore. You may find yourself becoming more aware of the emotions of others, more affected by the energy of certain environments, or more attuned to the subtle shifts in conversations and interactions. This sensitivity is not weakness, it is an expansion of perception. When your energy rises, your awareness expands, and you begin picking up on details that previously blended into the background. You might sense when someone is being insincere, even if they choose their words carefully. You might feel a subtle heaviness in a room, even when nothing appears outwardly wrong. This heightened sensitivity indicates that your intuitive channels are open and more receptive than before. It also means you are tuning into the deeper layers of reality, perceiving things not only with your senses, but with your energy. Another intuitive phenomenon that becomes more frequent during alignment is déjà vu. This sensation, where a moment feels eerily familiar despite having no logical explanation, is often misunderstood as a brain glitch. In reality, déjà vu is a sign that you are aligning with a path or a timeline that resonates with your soul. It can be a subtle indication that you are in the right place at the right time, or that the moment you are experiencing is significant to your spiritual development. Déjà vu can also suggest that your intuition is syncing with the universal field, allowing you to feel the subtle echoes of past impressions or future alignments. It is a reminder that time is not as rigid as it seems, and that your inner awareness often extends beyond the boundaries of linear experience. Sudden awareness is another powerful signal. These moments occur when clarity emerges seemingly from nowhere. You might have a sudden realization about a person, a situation, or a choice you need to make. Something that felt confusing for weeks may suddenly become obvious. This clarity is not random. It is the result of your intuition synthesizing information from both the internal and external worlds. When you receive sudden awareness, it is a sign that your inner guidance is working actively to direct you. This form of intuition is often subtle but unmistakable. It carries a sense of truth that does not require validation. All these intuitive signals, gut feelings, synchronicities, heightened sensitivity, déjà vu, and sudden awareness, share one essential characteristic. They indicate energetic resonance. This resonance is the alignment between your intuition and the universal field that surrounds you. When you sense something strongly, it is because your energy has reached a point where it can read the subtle frequencies around you with greater accuracy. You are beginning to tune into the deeper patterns guiding your life. Your awareness is expanding beyond the surface level of events and tapping into the underlying currents that shape your reality. This resonance happens when your internal state comes into harmony with the direction the universe is pulling you. You may not yet see the full picture, but your intuition senses the movement. The signals you are feeling are the early indicators of this shift. They let you know that your inner awareness is syncing with the outer changes that are gathering. These sensations occur because your spirit recognizes the alignment long before it becomes visible to your conscious mind. Understanding these signals also means recognizing that they tend to appear more frequently during transition periods. When something in your life is preparing to expand, evolve, or shift, your intuition becomes more active. It needs to guide you through uncertainty long before the physical environment changes. The universe communicates through impressions, sensations, and symbols because these forms bypass the limitations of language and logic. They reach you directly, without distortion. These intuitive signals are like whispers from a deeper part of yourself. whispers that carry truth long before the mind can process it. To stay grounded during this process, it helps to approach these signals with calm observation rather than emotional urgency. Analytical awareness does not mean dismissing your intuition. It means understanding it. When you analyze the signals from a place of grounded clarity, you can differentiate between genuine intuition and the noise of fear or anticipation. Genuine intuition carries a sense of quiet certainty. It does not panic, it does not rush, it simply reveals. Fear, by contrast, is chaotic and loud. Learning to observe your intuitive signals through a grounded lens helps you recognize their purpose more clearly. It is also important to understand that intuitive awareness is not something external trying to influence you. It is your internal consciousness expanding. What you are sensing is the result of inner and outer synchronization. As your internal awareness rises, the external world responds. This creates a feedback loop where you notice things you previously overlooked. You become more attuned to subtle cues, more aware of energetic shifts, and more sensitive to patterns that reveal alignment. Recognizing the nature of these signals empowers you. You no longer dismiss them as imagination or coincidence. You begin to trust that your awareness is evolving for a reason. You begin to understand that your intuitive impressions form part of a larger conversation between you and the universe. This conversation becomes clearer the more you pay attention to it. When you understand that intuitive signals are reflections of energetic resonance, you stop questioning their validity. Instead, you start listening with intention. What you are sensing is not random, it is not accidental, it is not a psychological anomaly. These signals are communication. They are alignment. They are the universe speaking in its own language, a language that does not use words but uses vibration, intuition, synchronicity, and energetic recognition. When you begin to understand this language, you begin to navigate your life with greater clarity and confidence. You begin to recognize that these signals serve as markers along your path, revealing that your inner and outer worlds are aligning in ways you are only beginning to understand. The more you understand the nature of these signals, the more you begin to realize that they are guiding you towards something meaningful, and the more you trust them, the more clearly the path ahead will begin to reveal itself. These sensations you are experiencing are not appearing randomly, nor are they separate from the larger movement of your life. They are happening now because you are approaching a point of transition where intuition becomes more valuable than logic, and inner perception becomes more accurate than external evidence. When you stand near the threshold of a major turning point, the energetic mechanisms within your consciousness begin to shift. Your awareness sharpens, your internal frequency rises, and your intuitive senses activate more intensely. What you are feeling is not confusion, it is preparation. At a deeper energetic level, every human being has a field of awareness that extends beyond their physical senses. Most of the time, this field functions quietly in the background, interacting with the world without you consciously realizing it. But when you enter a period of accelerated growth, this field becomes more active. It starts picking up on subtle information, vibrations, and patterns that you were not receptive to before. This heightened sensitivity is not a malfunction. It is a natural response to the expansion taking place within you. As you shift into a higher version of yourself, the energy within your system rises. This increase allows you to sense things that are normally hidden beneath the noise of daily life. You begin noticing undercurrents in conversations, feeling shifts in environments, and recognizing truth even when there is no evidence to support it. Your perception becomes less dependent on the physical senses and more connected to the deeper energetic structures that shape your path. This is why you may feel a sudden knowing about something long before circumstances confirm it. Your energy is reading the field around you, interpreting changes that have not yet manifested physically. Another reason these sensations are happening now is that your intuition is becoming your primary form of navigation. When you are moving into a new phase, your old methods of decision-making are no longer sufficient. Logic, familiarity, routine, and habit cannot guide you through a transition that involves spiritual, emotional, and energetic evolution. The universe shifts your awareness so that intuition becomes your internal compass. This shift can be disorienting at first because you are being asked to trust what you feel more than what you can see. but this is the only way to navigate a path that is opening ahead of you, not behind you. The increase in intuitive sensitivity is also tied to the rising frequency of your energy. Every time you release something from your past, an old belief, an outdated identity, a limiting pattern, you free up space within yourself. That space gets filled with higher awareness. As your energy rises, it interacts differently with the world. You begin to sense the subtle vibrational differences between what aligns with you and what does not. You may feel repelled by situations you once tolerated, or drawn to opportunities that once felt irrelevant. This shift is not emotional inconsistency, it is energetic intelligence. Your system is recalibrating, guiding you toward the environments and choices that resonate with your growth. These sensations are also synchronized with a shift in your identity. You are not only changing externally, you are evolving internally. Identity is not fixed. It is built layer by layer through experiences, realizations, and transitions. When you approach a turning point, your identity begins to expand in preparation for the version of yourself you are becoming. This expansion often feels like internal stretching. You may sense a new clarity, a new strength, or a new direction emerging even before you can articulate it. This is because your spirit evolves ahead of your mind. The sensations you are feeling signal that your identity is shifting to accommodate a new level of purpose. Purpose plays a significant role in why you are sensing things so strongly now. When a person's purpose deepens or redirects, the universe begins sending subtle guidance so they can position themselves correctly. This guidance arrives as intuitive nudges, emotional signals, inner whispers, and energetic impressions. It begins subtly because the universe never shocks you into alignment. It eases you toward it. The signals increase gradually until you cannot ignore them. What you are feeling is purpose calling you forward. Your spirit recognizes the direction long before your conscious mind does. These sensations serve as a bridge between where you are and where you are meant to go. Another critical aspect of this heightened sensing is that the universe is actively guiding you. Most people assume guidance comes through obvious signs or external messages, but universal guidance is far more subtle and far more internal. It communicates through the alignment between your energy and the energetic field around you. When you are meant to move in a particular direction, you feel a pull that is difficult to explain. When you are meant to step away from something, you feel discomfort that cannot be ignored. These sensations are the universe speaking to you through vibration and intuition. They are not random, they are intentional. You are also sensing these things now because the timing of your life is shifting. Every major development in a person's life is tied to timing, and timing is synchronized with energy. When you are approaching the right moment for change, your energy begins to prepare by raising your awareness. This is why you may feel anticipation, even when nothing obvious has changed yet. The universe often prepares your intuition before it alters your circumstances. It gives you internal confirmation so that when external shifts occur, you recognize them as part of a larger design rather than chaos. The emotional component of these sensations should not be overlooked. You may feel moments of unexplainable excitement, fear, heaviness, or clarity. These emotions are not random spikes. They are responses to subtle energetic currents that your intuition is reading. When you are drawn towards something with no rational explanation, it is usually because your spirit recognizes resonance. When you feel resistance towards something without clear reasoning, it is often because your energy senses misalignment. Your emotions act as signals during this phase, pointing you toward what supports your evolution and away from what hinders it. You may also notice physical sensations accompanying these intuitive shifts. Some people experience tingles, heaviness, lightness, warmth, or sudden energetic drops. These sensations occur because the body responds to energetic information before the mind interprets it. Your physical system is being rewired to process higher levels of awareness. The sensations are simply indicators that your body and spirit are synchronizing to prepare for the changes ahead. Another reason these sensations are happening now is that your consciousness is expanding beyond linear perception. You are beginning to sense patterns that extend beyond the moment, patterns that connect past experiences, present conditions, and future possibilities. This is why certain insights feel like they come from nowhere. Your awareness is pulling information from a deeper field of understanding. This expanded consciousness is part of your awakening. It allows you to perceive life with greater clarity and make decisions aligned with your higher purpose. The significance of these sensations becomes even clearer when you realize they are often strongest right before major breakthroughs. The universe does not push you into change blindly. It prepares you through intuition, signals, and subtle awareness. These sensations are how the universe guides you into alignment without overwhelming you. They ensure that when your circumstances shift, you are already internally prepared to step into the new chapter. What you are sensing is simply the energetic preview of what is coming. These sensations are happening now because you are ready for them. Your spirit has reached a level of maturity that allows you to interpret intuitive information with wisdom. Your purpose has reached a point where guidance is necessary. Your identity has expanded to the point where new opportunities can be integrated. The universe does not activate your intuition at random. It activates it when you are capable of using it. That time is now. Ultimately, what you are sensing is the universe guiding you toward alignment. These feelings are the early signs of a deeper shift taking place within your life. They are not coincidences, they are confirmations. They are the evidence that your path is opening and your awareness is adjusting to meet it. When you understand why these sensations are happening, you stop questioning them. You begin trusting them. And trust is what allows the next stage of your journey to unfold with clarity instead of resistance. Responding to intuitive signals requires a shift in how you approach your inner world. These signs, sensations, and impressions are valuable pieces of guidance, but their meaning becomes clear only when you learn how to engage with them consciously. Many people dismiss their intuition because they were taught to rely solely on logic. Others ignore intuitive nudges because they fear being wrong, or because the signals arrive quietly rather than dramatically. But to navigate a period of awakening, you must shift from denial to awareness, from doubt to observation, and from fear to trust. Understanding how to respond to these intuitive signals is essential if you want to accelerate your alignment and move through this transition with clarity. The first step in responding to intuitive signals is observation. Observation is the act of noticing without judgment. When you feel a strong nudge, a sudden awareness, or an internal shift, your instinct might be to question it or analyze it until it loses its meaning. Instead, treat the sensation as information. You do not need to understand it instantly. You only need to acknowledge it. When you observe your intuition without dismissing it, you create space for deeper clarity to emerge. Observation allows the signal to exist long enough for its meaning to unfold naturally. Over time, you begin recognizing patterns in what your intuition is trying to tell you. You notice how certain signals appear during moments of misalignment, while others appear when you are moving towards something meaningful. Another important aspect of responding to intuitive signals is recognizing synchronicities. These moments of alignment are not accidental. They are the universe using external events to reflect your internal state. When synchronicities appear repeatedly, they are pointing your attention towards something. You may see the same number pattern multiple times in a single day. You may hear a phrase that mirrors your thoughts. You may notice symbols that align perfectly with your inner questions. Instead of dismissing these moments, pause and consider why they appeared. Synchronicities are often confirmations that you are being guided. They act as markers along your path, letting you know you are heading in the right direction, or nudging you to reconsider something you overlooked. Trust becomes a central part of responding effectively. Trust is not simply believing in your intuition, it is choosing to act on the guidance you receive, even when you cannot yet see the outcome. Trust builds gradually. It begins with small moments where your intuition proves itself reliable, and over time, these moments accumulate until you recognize that your inner guidance has been leading you accurately all along. When you trust your intuition, you no longer need external validation for every decision. You begin navigating life based on alignment rather than fear. Trust strengthens your connection to the universal signals, making them easier to interpret and more frequent in appearance. Reflection is another key part of the process. Intuitive signals often carry layers of meaning that reveal themselves over time. When you reflect on what you've sensed, you begin uncovering connections between your internal world and your external circumstances. Reflection allows you to process the sensations fully instead of overlooking them in the flow of daily life. You might reflect by journaling, meditating, or simply sitting quietly with your thoughts. Through reflection, you begin to see how certain feelings appear right before significant events, or how certain signs repeat themselves in meaningful cycles. This introspection deepens your understanding and sharpens your intuitive intelligence. To interpret intuitive signals accurately, you must remain receptive. Receptivity is more than openness. It is a willingness to allow new understanding to replace old assumptions. When you stay receptive, you do not force your intuition to fit into a preconceived narrative. You allow it to guide you naturally. This means being willing to change direction when your intuition tells you something no longer aligns. It means being open to new possibilities, even when they challenge your comfort zone. Receptivity allows the guidance to flow into your awareness without distortion. Remaining calm is essential because intuition speaks in subtle ways. When your mind is chaotic, fearful, or overwhelmed, you cannot hear the messages clearly. Calmness quiets the noise within you, making it easier to detect the nuances of intuitive communication. You may not always feel completely at peace during periods of transformation, but cultivating moments of calm will help you access clarity. Whether through deep breathing, grounding techniques, or moments of stillness, calmness sharpens your intuitive sensitivity and reduces emotional interference. Groundedness helps anchor your intuition, so it does not become confused with anxiety or speculation. When you are grounded, your awareness stays connected to both your energy and your physical reality. This balance prevents you from drifting into unrealistic interpretations while still allowing your intuition to guide you. Grounding practices can involve connecting with your body, spending time in nature, or focusing on your senses. A grounded mind can distinguish between fleeting emotion and genuine intuitive guidance. Another important part of responding to intuitive signals is learning not to force interpretations. Sometimes intuition arrives before the mind is ready to understand it. You may receive a feeling that something is shifting, but you cannot yet see the details. You may sense that someone's role in your life is changing, but you do not know how. These moments are not meant to be solved like puzzles. They are meant to prepare you. When you avoid forcing immediate meaning onto your intuitive impressions, you give the universe room to reveal the truth at the right time. As you deepen your relationship with your intuition, you begin to see how these signals guide you away from misaligned situations and toward aligned opportunities. You may feel drained or uncomfortable around someone long before you recognize why. This discomfort is a signal. Your energy senses what your mind has not yet registered. Similarly, you may feel an inexplicable pull toward a new direction, even if it contradicts your current plans. This pull is also a signal. It may be guiding you toward a new opportunity, a new environment, or a new stage of growth that your logical mind has not considered. Responding wisely to intuitive signals also means letting go of the need for certainty. Intuition rarely gives complete answers up front. It gives direction, not destination. It gives alignment, not full instruction. When you release your attachment to knowing everything in advance, you allow your path to unfold naturally. This surrender does not mean abandoning responsibility. It means trusting the process enough to take the first step without demanding the entire roadmap. When you align with your intuition, clarity arrives progressively. It is equally important to treat intuition as a living dialogue rather than a one-time message. Your intuition evolves as you evolve. The signals become clearer as you grow more attuned to them. When you respond to a signal with awareness, the universe sends the next one. When you ignore a signal, the guidance may repeat, intensify, or redirect. The relationship between you and your intuition functions like communication between two intelligent systems. The more present you are, the smoother the communication becomes. When you combine observation, synchronicity awareness, trust, reflection, receptivity, calmness, and groundedness, you develop a stable foundation for intuitive navigation. These qualities allow you to move through life with clarity and inner confidence. They help you interpret signals accurately, instead of reacting out of fear or confusion. They allow you to walk through transitions with grace, even when the outcome is still forming. Responding wisely to intuitive signals accelerates your alignment process because it eliminates resistance. When you resist your intuition, you slow down your progress. You cling to old patterns, delay necessary changes, and ignore the signs that could guide you more efficiently. But when you respond wisely, you move in harmony with your path. You align with the timing of your life instead of fighting it. You allow the universe to support you instead of struggling against it. Ultimately, the goal is not to control these signals, but to understand them. Not to force outcomes, but to follow where your intuition leads. When you learn to trust the signals you receive, you become more aligned with your purpose, more connected to the universe, and more confident in the path unfolding ahead of you. Your intuition becomes a guiding force rather than a passing sensation. And as you continue responding with awareness, you step more fully into the version of yourself that you were always meant to become. As we reach the end of this message, it is important to return to the truth beneath everything you have been experiencing. What you are sensing is not random. It is not accidental. It is not a trick of your imagination. These feelings, these sudden intuitions, these recurring signs, these heightened sensitivities are all forms of communication. They are guidance. They are the universe speaking to you in the only language subtle enough to reach you before your circumstances change. When you take a step back and look at everything you have been sensing, you will see that the signals follow a pattern. They arise when something is shifting. They arise when you are evolving. They arise when your life is preparing to move in a new direction. You are not confused. You are awakening. Awakening is not a dramatic moment of revelation. It often begins quietly, in the small signals you notice when everything feels strangely familiar or strangely significant. It begins in the moments when your intuition speaks louder than your doubt. It begins when you sense the truth long before you can explain it. Awakening is the recognition that your inner world can perceive what your outer world has not yet revealed. And that is exactly what you have been experiencing. Your awareness is expanding, your sensitivity is rising, and your intuition is growing stronger because you are entering a stage where deeper guidance is required. Every signal you have received is a reminder that the universe is communicating with you. It communicates through synchronicities that mirror your thoughts. It communicates through sudden clarity that appears out of nowhere. It communicates through energetic shifts that make you feel drawn towards some things and repelled by others. It communicates through déjà vu, through dreams, through subtle knowing, through the sense that something is preparing to unfold. These communications may feel mysterious, but they are intentional. They are the universe helping you navigate what lies ahead with greater awareness, greater alignment, and greater purpose. You are not alone in this. You are not drifting without direction. You are being guided moment by moment through signals that bypass logic and reach directly into your intuition. The more you trust what you are sensing, the clearer the messages will become. The more you pay attention, the more the universe responds. This is a relationship between your awareness and the deeper intelligence moving through your life. And now that you recognize the signs for what they truly are, you can walk your path with a greater sense of confidence and connection. Before we close, take a moment to support this channel so messages like this can continue reaching the people who need them. If this video has spoken to something you have been feeling, make sure to like it, share it with someone who may need this clarity, and subscribe for upcoming messages that will guide you as you continue awakening to your path.